You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. This is Dave Berk. We are joined by Dave Lapham after the Bengals lost to the Baltimore Ravens. Dave, your first thoughts tonight.
Well, our typical AFC North football game came down to the wire in the second half. Possessions were like gold. Baltimore Ravens only had 4 possessions in the half. 2 in the third quarter, 2 in the fourth quarter. The Bengals only had 3, and 2 of their 3 possessions, a 15-play drive that ended on losing it on downs, and then the 13-play drive for the touchdown. Those were both big for different reasons. And then Baltimore had a 15-play drive, 190 yards, settled for a field goal, and then the 7-play drive that ultimately ended up winning the game in the fourth quarter. They had 2 possessions in the third quarter as well. So each one was extremely valuable in a one possession game like this. Decided on basically the last play of the game. All the Bengals losses have a lot of common denominators: slow starts, ending with game-winning field goals. This was the shortest distance, but a couple of them from 50 and beyond to win games, and then this one by the greatest of all time, Tucker. It was almost mind-boggling to think that he wouldn't make that field goal.
Early on, the Bengals defense kept this team in it. Eventually, though, they did give up 100 yards rushing for the first time this season.
Yeah, that was the first 100 yards to a team, not to an individual, to 100 yards rushing to a team. And Baltimore had 155, and Lamar Jackson led the way with 58 yards rushing. Dobbins had 44. No 20-yard rushes, but a 19-yard carry by Jackson, a 17-yard carry by Dobbins, a 14-yard carry by Drake, a 12-yard carry by Duvernay. They get contributions from multiple players in the running game, and the Bengals gave up 155 yards on 28 carries, 5.5 a pop. But the encouraging part of it, Joe Mixon had 78 yards on 14 carries, 5.6 per. P. Ryan added 5.7 on his 3 carries for 17 yards. So they ran the ball for almost 5 yards a carry on themselves, 4.8 per carry. That's why when it was first and goal at the 2-yard line, I was hopeful they get under center and run the ball.
Joe Burrow, 24-35 for 217, a touchdown and an interception. Doing it without T. Higgins, without Higgins, it really just kind of changes what teams are focused on.
Yeah, there's no doubt. T. Higgins is an unbelievable weapon. His size, speed ratio is incredible. He's got an unbelievable wingspan. He's tall, he's long, he's big. He's a factor in the red zone. He's a factor everywhere. He's a number 1 receiver. There's no question about it. Mike Thomas had a big catch, a 33-yarder that was big in a scoring drive. But when you're down a player of the caliber of T. Higgins, it's tough to overcome. And it boiled down to when the game was on the line, you had to stop number 8 and number 89. You had to stop Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. And Andrews is a hell of a player. 10 targets, 8 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Their only touchdown of the night. So, Jackson and Andrews, they've got a very, very strong connection, and it was a big factor in the football game.
Bengals hit the road again next weekend in New Orleans against the Saints, the 1 p.m. kickoff. How do they recover from another heartbreaking loss?
Yeah, that's life in the league. It's a long night. Travel back to Cincinnati, land about 3:30 in the morning, whatever it is, and got to come in and lick your wounds, take care of injuries if you need to get treatment. Make sure that you're ready to participate in the workout on Wednesday. They'll have Tuesday off, except for lifting obligations that players have. You just have to get right back to work. You can't wallow in it. You can't, experience self-pity. That's the nature of the beast in the NFL. You have to rebound and go down to New Orleans, a tough place to play, very loud in that dome, and not an easy journey, but you got to bounce back.
Dave, when you look at the AFC North right now, the Ravens take a step forward, 3-2 overall. Browns at 2-3, the Bengals 2-3, the Steelers at 1-4. Still a long way to go in this season. Can't get too far down because this is going to be a tight race all the way to the wire.
Yeah, it's going to be. There's no question. It's going to be a battle royale. the problem that the Bengals have is 2 of their 3 losses are division losses. So going to have to get that first division win here pretty quickly and turn that part of it around. That's going to be a significant early tiebreaker down the stretch when you're trying to qualify for the playoffs. So you don't want to fall in the hole any more than you have with an 0-2 start in the division.
We're talking with Dave Lapham following the Bengals' loss to the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday night in prime time. Bengals and the Ravens, always a great game, but the Bengals in prime time sometimes struggle, especially on Sunday nights. And Dave, when you break this down, kind of give us your thoughts on what this team needs to do to get back on a winning track.
Well, I mean, just take advantage of opportunities and get off to a faster start. Bottom line is, when they've gotten off to a fast start, they've won 2 football games. When they struggled early, they've lost 3 football games. So, don't dig a hole. Get off to a faster start, and it's a lot easier to finish that way. So, I think that's what they need to definitely focus on. I mean, the first quarter was tough. Offensively, there was nothing there. But they did rebound and respond. I mean, I think that's the positive that this football team has. They feel like they're never out of the football game. They dug back from a 10-0 deficit and ended up taking the lead down the stretch of a tough game on the road. So, they're not that far off. They just need to get off to faster starts, in my opinion. I think that's the biggest thing on a consistent basis. That's been the telling stat in the first 5 games. When they scored first and took a lead and played with a lead, they won 2 football games. When they didn't, they lost 3 football games.
In the Trenches with Dave Lapham is brought to you by First Star Logistics. If you're looking for a new career, be sure to check out firststarlogistics.com. Dave, your final thoughts, because we know you got to get on a bus and hit the flight back home to Cincinnati.
Yeah, final thoughts are that, obviously a gut-wrenching, hard-fought football game that just didn't go the way of the Cincinnati Bengals. That is life in the National Football League. It's a very physical division. There's no 2 ways about that. Guys are going to have to lick their wounds very quickly. And now that the resiliency of this football team is going to be tested, and I think they're going to pass that test. And, going down to New Orleans, taking on the Saints, any road game in the National Football League, it's not easy. It's not easy to go travel and play in somebody's stadium, particularly a stadium that has the support that the New Orleans Saints have from their fans down there. And that fan base is going to be in full throat, and it's going to be in a dome. It's going to be loud. You're going to be working against, some variables there. But this football team is fully capable of bouncing back and getting back on the winning track.
Yeah, the Saints are 2-3, having beat the Seattle Seahawks 39-32 on Sunday. Dave, we appreciate your time. Safe flight back home. We'll see you this week in the trenches.
You got it. Thanks, Dave.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.